Hello, everyone. Happy OPEX Friday. How is everyone doing today? Good morning, Zello. Good morning, Sterling. Thank you for putting in some of the earnings, Sterling. Good morning, Royal Palms. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Ted. Good morning, OD Green. Happy Friday to you, Yogi. Hey, Christoph. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well with you, too. Hey, holy, spring rains to melt snow piles. Well, it was actually, I got a little rain this morning on me walking the dogs. What are the patterns of notes from the earnings, Sterling? Good morning, Tony. All right. Well, we're waiting for more stuff. We had some data come out this morning. It's not just OPEX Friday. We had the GDP numbers come out. Those are the Q4, and they'll get revised, but they came in at 1.4. Consensus was 3. Forecast was 3.5. Prior was 4.4. So that's where it's a big drop there. PCE numbers for December that came out. The headline numbers coming in at 2.9, expected 2.8. Prior was 2.8. Month over month for December was 0.4 for the headline number. Consensus was 0.3. So that's coming in hotter. And where's the core PCE? Core PCE, where is it? There it is, month over month. Coming in at 0.4 versus 0.3 expected and forecast 0.2. Prior was 0.2. And the where's year over year? Core year. I wish they put these in order. Core PCE price index year over year coming in at 3. There we go. So GDP lower, PCE, the Fed's preferred measure of inflation, coming in higher, at least for December. So there we have that. What else do we have today? We got Bostic speaking. By the way, real consumer spending coming in a lower also. Personal income coming in at 0.3, down from 0.4. Personal spending coming in at 0.4. So people spending more than their rate of growth of spending higher than the rate of growth of income. Again, Bostic speaking. We got S&P Composite Manufacturing and Services coming out at 9:45 Eastern. We have consumer sentiment, the final numbers for February, coming out at 10 Eastern, and also inflation expectations. So that's hello, Charles. Yesterday was Slop trading. Yep. Good morning, Heinrich. Good morning, Balaji. Excuse me. Uh I I just want to get this OPEX out of the way. We're not only in OPEX, we're in just a huge trading range, which even makes an OPEX day more challenging. So I just want to get it out of the way. Pretty much red across the board. Google and Amazon are the bright spots in the Mag 7. GE Aerospace and Defense is up. Defense is doing pretty good right now. If we refresh this, let's just see comm services. That's with Google, especially up today. Utilities leading, but everything else is lagging. Pretty red day so far. Fed watch. Just do another refresh of this real quick. Let's see where it's coming in. So we have the 94% now for the pause in March, 80% for the pause in April, and then nearly, look at this, 45.3 versus 45.7 for the cut in the pause versus the cut in June. So that, again, with these numbers coming out, the odds of a pause in June are rising. They're not yet favored, but they are rising. Fear and greed, I want to still know how we're in extreme fear from market momentum. Oh boy. Oh boy. But we're in fear mode overall. 40.01 for the Schiller PE. In terms of earnings, Sterling put them in the chat, and he put an open door from yesterday, Newmont from yesterday. So that's where we have pop from the open door warriors, another sort of remaining meme-ish thing, saying it's going to go to 80. Yeah, right. 15% up though on their beaten revenue. I don't know if the tariff decision is coming today. That could be in the works too. Don't know. I don't know what's taking them so long. But thank you for bringing that up, Ted. That is a possible. This is a decision day. We just don't know what they're going to put out. So it could happen. It might not happen. So there you go. GE Aerospace Morgan Stanley initiates with overweights as price target at 425. There you go. Good morning, Anissa. All right. So we're done. We are done with earnings this week. Can we check KLAR, please? They had earnings yesterday. Just remind me. Let's just get through some other stuff. Let me get through some of this other stuff. So today, my main focus in the S&P is 6,900 to the upside. There's a key level around 6,904, but on any rally, 6,900. We're pulling back. We've just bounced 6,850 is key to the downside. If we do take out that, still looking at 6,841, then 6,824, and then the about 6,800 if we got something to downside. I'm more focused on a choppy day. A choppy day so far. So that's what I'm going to be focused on unless we get momentum. So right now we're trading at 6,850. If that starts breaking, I'm going to be watching that 62.5 level. And by the way, the double that's been triggered is still technically not off the table. It's 68.31 on a closing basis that takes that off the table. Holy's bet on tariffs is to keep what's done so far, but no more. So we shall see. If we were to break above, move back up, I'm not counting on much today, but if we were to break back up, something would have to really happen. Remember, the first target of the double, 69.42. Other than that, we were even in chop and slop yesterday. So it's still buying, not necessarily for me, but buying the dips and selling the rallies. Overall, we looking at the daily, the pokes into the daily rotation zone, which remember this 4-hour double bottom is against the daily rotation zone, which lowers the probabilities. The rallies in the rotation zone are getting sold. And we are in potentially still a major rounding top pattern. The NASDAQ, again, the rallies into the rotation zone are getting sold. The NASDAQ never flipped the probabilities. The NASDAQ key levels, I'm looking at 25,000 to 25,030 as the key resistance area. And so I'm just using the harmonics to the downside. Right now, we're into this where we've had the buying pressure since Tuesday. So I'm going to be watching specifically right after the open how we react in this area. If we close below 24,704, then I'm going to 24,619 and then 24,530 area. To the upside, there's some minor resistance at 24,850 area, and then I'll be looking at 24,9 and 24,950 with OPEX. That's really about it. The Dow, we did have that channeling double, which is no more. We broke down below the bottom of the channel, retested it, and rolled down. Is there another mini double bottom? Technically, yes. There we go. I'd actually use the right side if it were to trigger, as long as the right side's above the left side. But we're not there yet, and it might not qualify unless we do use the right side. I just don't know. If we push lower, it'll be off the table. Again, if that were to trigger today, I'm just waiting until literally Sunday night, Monday. So that's the only one that works on the right side. But if that pushes down, that mini double is going to potentially be off the table, and we are still trending down. However, key support areas is 49,200 of about 49,230. That's what I'm going to be looking at. If we break below that, if we can take out this key support level of 49,200, I'm going to be looking at 48,975 area. And then we have a major cluster at 48,800. Current gamma support resistance is in SPX is between 6,860 and 6,900. And remember, that's the cash S&P that Sterling's putting in there. Max pain strike is at 6,800. You know, we shall see. We shall see how that plays out today. Thank you for putting that in there, Sterling. The Russell also trying to break down below this channel. If it continues, I'm looking at around 2635, then 2625 are the first key targets, and major support at 2613. On any rally, we're looking at 2664 and then roughly about 2674 to the upside. The VIX staying elevated. So that's why I'm into, choppy / we have the overhead rotation zones, choppy / slightly bearish, not majorly bearish unless we get momentum. DAX, not much to talk about there. Going to be looking at this on when it opens on Sunday night. Well, Sunday afternoon, really. But the 10-year, not much of reaction off those PCE and GDP numbers. From the percent B buy, thought we get more of a pop here, which we didn't. Has not hit my first target, so got to aggressively raise the stop on that. But very little reaction. We have still consumer sentiment and inflation expectations coming out. 30-year, again, not much thing here. Nothing's changed yet. Still, the first and second targets hit on the inverse head and shoulders has still not been invalidated. Gold, little move here. We got above the channel right here yesterday, retested the channel, and rotating back up. I still need that close. We have very significant resistance at 5,100. I still need to close above 5,175 before the probability shift. So, still in secondary bounce mode, still bullish with raising up stops from any other earlier signals. But we've not shifted the probabilities. Silver, technically this is the steep neckline that has now been confirmed for the head and shoulders. I need to at least see this close above the rotation zone, though. For if this were to play out, look at that. The first target is roughly the 50% harmonic, which was my first target area. Anything for the any bullish bounce that's been just reinforced. The second target is right in front of the 62.5. So, going to be keeping an eye on this, but I need to see it has not been able to close above the rotation zone yet. Crude continue to remain elevated. It's all going to depend on what happens with Iraq. If some kind of deal's announced, you'll see this rapidly drop. But with that, I still have to remain bullish unless we close back below the 50. Back below the 50. So, I'm going to be watching on any pullback. Key support is around 64.75 to 65. I would not be initiating new positions. We finally checked off the 75% harmonic, which is my first target for a long time. If we do break above there, starting into early next week, I'm still looking 68.50 and then $70 if we take that out. Dollar index, no close above the 50 yet, but still on any pullback now. I'm going to watch to see how it reacts closer to the 97.20 area. Can I explain why everybody who's not actively engaged in the market correlates the market being up or down solely based on where the Dow is trading? It's just historical. I mean, they cite the Dow, even though, if you're going to look at the broad market, you should probably focus more on the S&P 500. It's just what's been done historically. So that's the only reason. And also, I think it's psychological with, especially since the Dow index is the highest print at 50K. It's the one that's, hey, look at how it's just psychologically the big number. And Pam Bondi, so I mean, look, in her testimony in front of Congress, yes, she did. Hey, what? Nothing to see here with the Epstein files. Dow's at 50K. Dow's at 50K. Don't worry about uh, sexual predators. Don't worry about child sexual abuse. Dow's at 50K. There you go. There you go. There you go. So, just remember that. Dow's at 50K. Thank you for putting that in there. Bitcoin 6666666. Nothing yet. Still finding resistance from the rotation zone. If that breaks down, it's going to get real interesting. The spiders, little gap down today. So 684.48 for the gap fill. Very key support in the spiders, just above 681. Just above the 681 level. But remember, again, OPEX Friday. So not much to talk about there. A very key support in the Qs at about 675. Very strong resistance 605, 65 area. We're gonna open below the key support level at 680. So on any rally, that's what I'll be looking for, and then it'd be for the gap fill. If we continue lower, the next key area of support is about 598.75. IWM, the IWM, we're going to again gap down today. On a rally, I'd be looking at yesterday's open area, 262.57, and then it would be for the gap fill to 264.60. Very, very key support is coming in right around 261. So that's your support level there. Now, Bitcoin is the devil. Nobody's citing Bitcoin anymore. Nobody's citing the good old Bitcoin. How well everything's going in the cryptoverse. Might as well cite the Dow now. Now, what stocks? Please give me a reminder. Now I got to look back through the whole chat. Oh, boy. Let me see. Where is it? Well, let's go to New Mountain Mining while I look for the other one. What? Why am I in that? There we go. Has triggered a daily double bottom that could set up a larger potential. You mean this one? Did that qualify? Took off my magnet. I forgot. Yeah, that did qualify. That's your play out for that. I'm still looking again. That's no Newmont Mining did close above the 62.5 on its secondary reaction. So interesting. Interesting right there. Now what else, what other stock was I supposed to look at? What other stock was I supposed to look at? KLAR. Thank you, Charles. Ooh. Now that's an ugly oh. Wow. Uh there's not much analysis I can do on this. Uh we can about all I can do from a technical standpoint, I'd have to look at this fundamentally. All I can do at this point is see where harmonics lie. That's about it. Uh because any rally, even before the gap fills, 1765 is the key resistance area with the declining rotation zone. Again, miss on EPS, a slight beat on revenue. Again, a company has no they don't necessarily make money. They bring in revenue, but they don't make money. So they're I mean, based off the harmonics, I look for support. If it does continue lower, just below 13, and then if that breaks, there's not much down until 8. Oh yeah, I mean, there's no way I would touch this. I wouldn't play this. I wouldn't touch this thing. Period. If you're trying to play it from the bullish side, I'd wait for a longer term pattern. GE also has a massive potential weekly double top in place for now. Probably won't trigger. That would be GE Aerospace. Yeah. Yeah. What was their upgrade price? 425, which would probably take it off the table. No, it wouldn't. Oh, 420. Dave said 425. Was that the where they're pricing that out at? What do I think of? I think private credit, a lot of private credit is going to implode soon. I think a blue owl is just a warning sign. I think you're going to have in the private credit market, you're going to have a lot of issues coming up. There's been a lot, they've been all chasing a lot of the same deals. They've been working on razor thin margins, and they've been a lot of private credit has been doing crap deals in my mind. So you're going to see the reward to risk of the deals they've been doing have not been good from my perspective. Yeah, set at 425. It's all wow. That's insane. That's insane. That's an insane price target. I mean, we are, I guess they're counting on a major defense spending in war because that's crazy. And by the way, don't trade off of price targets. Do not trade off of price targets. It's a waste of time because, again, you could go. This thing could drop to 280 before it goes to 425, and then it could be like, hey, in 3 years we hit 425. We were right. Well, what happened along the way? AU has a well-formed daily potential double top. Yes, it does. Again, would not recommend shorting unless that gold would be falling out of bed if that happen. So if gold breaks down, you could see some of these miners really break down. Other than that, wouldn't be trying to front run any of these things unless gold breaks down, which it hasn't yet. So that's where we sit. Again, don't do anything stupid on OPEX Friday, please. Gonna be specifically looking at how the markets react in the next 30 minutes off the open. We are against key support right now in the S&P, and the NASDAQ is right at that 62 and a half. So, and that's a minor level. I mean, geez, it could say, now remember also, just remember, on these spikes, the rotation zone is still holding. And the rotation zone's been holding since the big rally on the 6th and the fall through rally on the 9th. Everything's been holding. So, with that, I shall talk to everyone later. Looks like we're possibly starting off the morning with a downward bias, but the next 30 minutes will be very telling. And I shall talk to everybody on Monday. Bye for now.